What's going on, guys? B Scott here with you, and on today's show, we got your tight end sit starts ahead of week 5. To be honest, week 4 was a great week for the tight ends. Lots of touchdowns scored for the tight ends. So going into week 5, I'm going to tell you your starts, sits, streams of all the tight ends that you could probably be asking about. So anyway, keep lock and loaded right here at the first 4 downs. What's going on, guys, and welcome back. As I mentioned in the preview, we're going over the tight end sit starts ahead of week 5. Week 4 is in the books. Great Monday Night Football game. Jared Cook finds the end zone. Darren Waller kind of quiet, but I'll tell you right now, there's lots of tight ends this week that I would be starting, and just a couple sits and some great stream options heading into week 5. So before we get to today's content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff, and then comment. If I miss a tight end, I don't have all of them, but if I miss a tight end that you want to hear more about, drop in the comment section. I'll be glad to get back to you. So let's start. We'll just start with the top tight ends, plain and simple. You're starting Travis Kelce once again. Buffalo Bills, not a great matchup, but you're going to be starting him anyway. Had actually a down week for the first time in a long time, but you're firing him up here. Darren Waller versus Chicago Bears. Bad secondary. I'd be starting him all day long, of course. George Kittle, tough matchup against Arizona Cardinals. Not a great matchup here. Just 1 touchdown in 7 career games against these Arizona Cardinals. But you'll probably got to be firing him up if you draft him as a high-end tight end. If you want to take a chance on a streamer, I understand. Kittle just hasn't been great this season. And he's still dealing with a little bit of injury. Mark Andrews at Indianapolis, you're starting him. Looking to finally get in tune and really starting to mesh with Lamar Jackson. They just got to find the end zone, to be honest. That's what he's missing. Dalton Schultz, huge week, back-to-back. Now going against the Giants football team. It's given up the 4th most fantasy points to tight ends. 4 total touchdowns, which is the most in the NFL. So Dalton Schultz, absolute start this week. But considering, obviously, there's a lot of targets to go around, who knows what's going to happen. But it's through the last 2 weeks, they've been funneling to the tight ends. You got to be starting Dalton Schultz here. Goddard and Zach Ertz, I like both of them in this matchup. Honestly, it's a tough matchup against Carolina defense that really is pretty good, to be honest. But you saw what the Dallas Cowboys did, especially running in those 2 tight end sets. And Dallas Goedert, he's finding the end zone. He's doing just fine, even with Zach Ertz. And Zach Ertz is producing low-end numbers as well. So I would be firing up both these guys as options this week. Dawson Knox, you saw 2 touchdowns. Looking good, period. 3rd-year tight end. He's breaking out at this point. He's getting targeted in the red zone a whole lot. Going against the Kansas City Chiefs team, giving up 3rd most receptions and the most receiving yards to tight ends. So Dawson Knox is a start for me this week. Obviously in a potential shootout game, so must start Dawson Knox. Kyle Pitts versus the New York Jets. Actually, the Jets have been pretty decent against tight ends, giving up the 8th fewest fantasy points to tight ends. But Kyle Pitts, this is the game where he should be breaking out here. The Jets secondary is not very good. So as long as they utilize him in the passing game, do you really think Cordero Patterson's going to have 3 touchdowns? I don't think so. So not again. Kyle Pitts, he's a must start for me. TJ Hawkinson, you're going to be firing him up here against the Minnesota defense that's not very good. Hawkinson had back-to-back, kind of quiet days. I think he can get it going here in a game in which it could be high-scoring. Minnesota really struggled against the Cleveland Browns, but I'll tell you what, coming in against the Detroit Lions at home, Minnesota should have a heyday, plain and simple. So TJ Hawkinson, a must start for me. Tight ends you're going to be sitting. Obviously, Robert Tonyan. Going against Cincinnati, giving up 6 fewest fantasy points to tight ends, and he just hasn't been good. Week 2, 3 receptions, 52 yards, and a touchdown. The other 3 weeks, a total of 5 receptions for a total of 22 yards. So the ultimate boomer bust tight end. I can't really trust Tonyan here. Not in a matchup where he just hasn't shown enough, especially on the volume side. You see Randall Cobb with 2 touchdowns. You know that offense is funneling through Devontae Adams. So I don't like Tonyan. At this moment, I can't trust him only against really, really bad matchups. So I'm sitting Tonyan this week. Another guy, Logan Thomas, he's more than likely going to be out, so you're going to be looking for other tight end options elsewhere. And then Cameron Brate, if you want to take a chance on him. Tampa Bay, going against the Miami Dolphins. Kind of a good matchup, but I think Brady, I don't necessarily know if I want a tight end in that room. I don't know if it's O.J. Howard's going to be running more routes. I know last week you saw it was Cameron Brate running more routes, but I don't know if I can trust any of those tight ends as well. So some stream options for me. Mo Alley-Cox, last week, 2 touchdowns. You saw it. Jack Doyle, just have a seat at this point. Mo Alley-Cox, if they can get him going, especially in the red zone, I like him this week against the Baltimore team. He's giving up the most fantasy points to tight ends. So Mo Alley-Cox is an awesome stream option this week. Another guy, Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, both these guys, Houston, giving up 2nd most fantasy points to tight ends. And you saw last week, both of them find the end zone. Obviously, Hunter Henry, I think, is going to be getting more targets than Jonnu. He's out-yarding him, out-targeting him, things like that. But it's pretty close, but he's still running more routes. So I like Hunter Henry better than Jonnu Smith this week. But either one of them should be okay in a plus matchup against a Houston defense that is just not very good. And then Conklin, he had a tough week last week. Now he's playing the Detroit Lions, plain and simple. And honestly, they're middle of the pack against tight ends, but they gave up over 100 yards to Mark Andrews, a couple weeks ago. And then Tonyan, the big week in week 2. So I like Conklin here in a matchup that should be positive game script for the Minnesota Vikings. And I think Detroit Lions will be able to hang in this game a little, but Conklin is a stream option for me. And then Mike Gesicki, plain and simple, playing a Tampa Bay defense, giving up 6 most fantasy points to tight ends. The secondary has still looked bad. And then on top of that, he's had 24 targets through the last 3 weeks. He's cleared 40 yards over the last 3 weeks. As long as Brissett's under center, I like Gesicki. And going against Tampa Bay defense, they're going to have to probably try and score to hang in this game. So Gesicki is a great streaming option for me this week. So anyway, that's been the tight end sit starts. Not too many sits. I don't really know what to do with Higbee at this moment in that matchup either. So not too many sits either way. Some stream options, some good stream options this week. And you saw week 4, lots of tight end touchdowns. So hopefully they can keep it going heading into week 5. So once again, if you liked the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff. And then drop a comment. If there's a tight end I really missed or you want to hear more about, just drop in the comment section. I'll be glad to get back to you. So for the first 4 downs, it's been B. Scott, and I'm out.